It did come out with DeAndre Hopkins had him. Now, this is coming from DeAndre Hopkins.
He admitted it.
Yeah, but I don't think the NFL will ever publicly state what's in those tests, right? So guys for a long time were like, oh, it's the penis growing stuff I was taking. I didn't know it was in there. And then guys would be like, it was Adderall. I was having a long weekend or something. And the NFL would never actually broadcast what it was.
Osterine.
Ostrine. O-S-T-R-I-N-E.
Remember Clemson's players had an issue before their bowl game however many years ago. I remember this.
And he went to Clemson, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is something
he
did.
He did, yeah.
Hopefully before the season starts, maybe we can get the games down a little bit. Deshaun Watson said, it wasn't on me. I'm pretty much a naturopathic person. What it is it Ostrine, O-S-T-A-R-I-N-E. There was 0.1%.
Come on.
Hey, found in my system. If you know what that is, you know it's contamination, not something directly taken. I don't take any supplements. I've never taken supplements. I barely take vitamins. So for something like that to happen to me, obviously I was shocked, but my team and I, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. Now it goes on and says, ostrine attaches to proteins in the body known as androgen receptors. When ostrine binds to these receptors, it tells muscles probably to grow or repair. It is a type of drug that is called a selective androgen receptor modulator. And is often used for athletic performance as well as involuntary weight loss due to illness, breast cancer, and many other conditions. Now, this is Pro Football Talk. Is that what this is right here? This report?
I don't think
what we're
it is.
reading here?
Just based on the format. They use different.
ArizonaSports.com. That came from. Okay, so ArizonaSports.com got an interview. Wait, by the way, Mike Florio. Hey, Paisan, we got nothing but love for you, man. You cover football vastly different than we cover football. Nothing but love. The picture was just it was what you reported, which was an accurate report, Paisan. Listen, nothing but love, dude. Do what you got to do. We appreciate the hell out of your reporting there. But DeAndre Hopkins saying it was 0.1%. Do you get that information from the NFL? And how do we know at all that, listen, I love DeAndre Hopkins. I understand everything he's saying. But literally everybody that has failed a test has come out and said something's contaminated or I was taking an Adderall. Nobody really comes out and says, yeah, I was just trying to get faster, quicker, recover faster, and beat everybody else. Like, that never happens. Even though DeAndre Hopkins has never done anything that we shouldn't believe what he says, the NFL will never release that information, right, AJ? And will we ever know? No, the answer.
No, I know I think in the CBA it says, like, if someone tests positive for, they'll either say performance enhancer or, like, the street substance of abuse. They don't say whatever you tested positive for. Like, if you want to let people know, yes, you're obviously allowed. But it sounds like he has a good case in his appeal. Like, I would assume if he's saying it was 0.1% or whatever, 0.01, that during the appeal process, he got all that information, right? Like, hey, we want to see the A sample, the B sample. You have all your people look at it. It sounds like you have a good appeal, but I don't know. We're already done with the appeal process.
The one quote was, there's no more appeals, right? It's already over. The one thing is when he said, if you know what that is, you know it's contamination, not something directly taken, if it's 0.1%. So how come that's not something that's in the CBA then? Like, if
is that contaminate? Do we know that's contamination?
We can only take what DeAndre Hopkins.
Couldn't it be like, if you had a small amounts, like trace amounts of something, it could mean you took it a while ago, too. I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm just saying different reasons.
That's what the NFL lawyers and the drug people would probably say.
Is he already done, though? Isn't he already done with the appeal process?
I thought whenever it came out, this is final, this is happening.
Yeah, and he withdrew his appeal, I thought.
Yeah.
Because he got in November, he was made aware, and so they've been in the appeal process for a while.
So maybe he's just publicly stating, so public opinion is vastly different than everybody just assuming this guy's eating trenbolone sandwiches and shit, you know?
Well, why wouldn't he retest, too, if it was that small of a number? Like, does he not become aware of what gets tested for?
He's talking about the B sample and everything else like that. He probably had numerous tests since this moment.
Well, do you have a supplement you could go and test all of them and see what may have that ostrine in it? That's what you want to do.
Yeah, but not only that, how do you prove
still test positive?
Yeah, how do you prove that was what you took too at the time? Is there a picture of you? The NFL's rules on performance enhancing drugs have been long I don't want to say unfair, but kind of fucking unfair because the supplement game in the United States of America is the wild, wild west. So the NFL even tells you that, though. Like every meeting is, hey, what you are responsible for what goes in your body. I have a question. What happens if I don't know what's going in because it's not FDA approved, none of these supplements? So what they say on the side of it could not be real at all. Well, you got to know. The companies don't even know. How the fuck am I supposed to? Yeah, you got to know. That's what. Sorry, we don't know how to fucking tell you. Sorry about it. Basically, is what the NFL says, right? Am I not accurate in saying that? That's kind of how every single conversation, every single training camp about performance-enhancing drugs has gone that I've witnessed.
Absolutely, you're 100% right. But they tell you you are responsible for whatever is in your body, whether that's a tainted supplement, whatever it is. But they do have a bunch of resources now where if you want to take something, they have a website you can test to see if anything. Any banned substances were ever like manufactured in that lab, all of these different things. And like Pepper Burr, still trainer, he was in Green Bay for a long time. He was like, guys, if it works, it's probably banned.
Yeah, hold on. I was about to say, same thing going through the coach training room as well.
Really?
I like brought something in. I'm like, all right, I need to start hitting the weights a little bit. It was off-season workout. I'm like, this is the shit I'm going to get on. And one of the guys, just like casual smartass in the training room, trainer goes, yep, not allowed to take that. And I was like, what? Why? What are you talking about? I feel like this is something that everybody takes. He goes, well, does it work? I'm like, I think so. It seems to banned. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, there's a good rule to live by, Pat, while you're here in the NFL. If it works, if it helps you lose weight, gives you a little bit more of a pump, you get a little burn feeling inside your body, there's a 99% chance that it is banned on the thing. I was like, well, how does everybody get better, faster, stronger, and everything like that? They're eating the same shit as me? And I'm like, well, you eat pizza and you're a fat fuck. But yes, it is kind of that whole thing. I do feel like the NFL's testing policies for performance-enhancing drugs has always been very solid. Now, not always, because back in the day, there's stories of guys eating steroids in the locker room and everything like that.
They weren't tested back then.
Yeah, I was like, in the modern era, I think the NFL is pretty solid at testing and finding out what the next thing is that everybody's using to cheat and then getting that on there. Because every year there was a new something getting added to it that you've never heard of that has an insane name. And then it's like, oh, also found in blah. Like, for instance, the deer antler shit.
Yeah.
When the deer antler shit popped off, it wasn't an illegal banned substance at the time. Then it all becomes public and it's like, well, that's fucking boom. That one's now on the whole banned substance.
You're banned.
I remember when, you're banned, deer antler. You're fucking banned. You're not doing the same thing as goddamn venison meat.
Ray.
You're fucking vastly different, that deer antler, this magical stuff. But yeah, I remember the next meeting where they said, added to the banned substance list, whatever the scientific term is for that deer antler spray, and going, oh, what's that? And they're like, well, it's the deer antler spray that who knows how many of you have been using.
Oh.
I'm like, fuck, who has the intel on what is not in the thing and what could be? But it's always a constant game, and I think the NFL is pretty good. Honestly, I believe that as somebody that watched and was in there.
I've said it from day one on this show, and anyone that ever asked me, because people assume everyone's taking steroids in the NFL. And I've said, I don't know how anyone gets away with taking, like, legit anything that is on the banned substance list. If anyone's injecting themselves with anything, I don't know how they're getting away with it. I'm sure there are some guys doing it in creative ways with nice, like, guys that are ahead of the system. But, man, I just think the performance-enhancing part of it, like, they test you a lot. Like, I don't know how you get around it.
I think
now, HGH, that's a different story. People are doing that for sure.
Whoa. They're drawing blood now.
What are you talking
Are they still drawing blood? Do we know?
And has anybody ever failed for it without just saying, yeah, I'm taking it? Yeah. Probably not. They might come to somebody and say, your human growth levels are much higher than everybody else's that we've ever got. Well, that's because I produce it higher.
Yeah. Sorry about it.
Do you have any scientific proof that says I fucking don't? No. Fuck off. And now if somebody goes, you got me. I'm so sorry. I think they got it. But I believe the HGH testing has not been foolproof yet. I believe there is.
That was a big deal for a couple of years. Like, oh, they're going to draw blood. Like, you don't want to have to take blood from these dudes, all of it.
I think it was 3 years fighting that.
Yeah, because they're like, okay, how do we find a baseline? We need a baseline number that we could compare these numbers to. Okay, let's say like weird numbers. This guy, his HGH level was 800. I don't know if that's how they would label it or whatever. And this guy's is 300. Well, what's your baseline? What do you start at? I don't know.
And remember the big fight was, well, some basic-ass normal fucking doctor humans got something. You would think that J.J. Watts is probably higher. Yeah. Just natural by the name. Human growth hormone. JJ is JJ, and you are you. That was kind of what the NFLPA said through the entirety. And I believe the NFL and the NFLPA, and this is an assumption, not an accurate, and I don't want this to be slander or libel to anybody, but I believe the NFL went to the NFLPA and said, hey, we got to fucking test for it. The whole world is looking at it. Nobody's going to fail because we don't have a baseline, but we have to fucking put it in. And the NFLPA was like, all right, deal.